fire.
Two police officers left for patrol in rural Nuevo Leon and never made it back.
This investigation's targeting fentanyl trafficking, cocaine trafficking, amphetamine trafficking, marijuana trafficking, of course, weapons trafficking.
Confirmed that 2 alleged criminals had lost their lives. 7 more were arrested and their equipment and vehicles were seized.
Hours later, their units were riddled with bullets, 2 cartel gunmen were dead, and 7 suspected members of the Cártel Del Noreste were on the ground with rifles, body armor, and bugs scattered around them. What officers stumbled into that afternoon in Los Aldama wasn't a routine patrol gone wrong. It was a direct clash with one of Mexico's most violent criminal groups, an organization the U.S. government now places in the same category as foreign terrorist organizations.
A weapon of war down south that we're trying to stop. We don't want them getting on the streets here in America, obviously, but we really don't want them going south either. You know, it's a constant battle.
The shootout unfolded in the middle of Operation Morala, a security wall meant to keep armed convoys from reaching Monterrey, one of Mexico's richest cities.
There was 14 people killed. The main boss was decapitated, and they were playing basketball with this.
In this video, we're going inside that ambush, the strategy behind Morala, the rise of the Cartel del Noreste from the ashes of Los Zetas, and the role of its elite hit squad, Los Chukis, in the battle for control of Nuevo Leon.
Move! Get up the stairs!
Covering fire, left side!
It was the afternoon of October 27, 2025, in Los Aldama, a small rural municipality in Nuevo Leon, when a routine deployment turned into a fatal confrontation. State police were patrolling the area as part of Operation Morala, moving along secondary roads used by criminal groups to reach the Monterrey metropolitan zone. According to official reports, the officers were traveling in marked units when armed men opened fire on them without warning. But as they moved through the area, suspected members of the Cártel del Noreste opened fire on them without warning. The gunfight that followed was intense. Bullets flew in every direction as officers returned fire, trying to defend themselves against heavily armed cartel hitmen. By the time reinforcements arrived and the shooting stopped, 2 police officers had died of their injuries. On the other side, 2 suspected cartel gunmen were killed at the scene, and 7 more individuals were detained as they tried to flee or hide in nearby property.
Handguns, shotguns, and assault rifles. 187 guns hidden inside the wall of a trailer. Caught at the border in Eagle Pass.
Authorities seized 12 long guns, including a massive .50 caliber rifle, the kind of weapon that can tear through armored vehicles like paper. They also recovered a pickup truck with improvised armor plating, tactical gear, and various quantities of drugs.
Whenever you're dealing with drugs hidden in food commodities, it's always messy, extracting it.
Right now it looks probably about 1,000 pounds. You know, not weighing it, but just by the bundles that are there, probably be about 1,000 pounds. You know it's going to be cartel related.
The State Public Security Secretariat confirmed that backup was immediately sent to the area. Elements from the National Defense Secretariat, the National Guard, and the Civil Force Air Division all rushed to provide support and secure the zone.
And Homeland Security officials say Mexican cartels now are attempting to track, harass, and target immigration and border patrol agents.
This wasn't an isolated incident. It was just another battle in a war that's been raging across Nuevo Leon for years. To understand why police were in Los Aldama that afternoon, you have to understand Operation Morala. Morala meaning wall in Spanish.
The Defense Department has been helping on the border for decades, just not at the level that President Trump has charged us with right now.
This is Nuevo Leon's most aggressive security strategy, and it's been running since early 2024. The goal is simple but ambitious. Create a security perimeter around the state's metropolitan area to stop cartel members from entering. Think of it like building an invisible wall using police, military, and intelligence operations. The operation focuses on rural areas and highways leading into cities like Monterrey, one of Mexico's most important economic hubs. These are the routes cartels use to smuggle drugs, weapons, and people.
The visit also comes as reports note that Mexican
cartels are targeting Border Patrol agents with kamikaze drones and other explosives amid the border crackdown.
And it's not just about setting up checkpoints. Operation Morala involves constant patrols, intelligence gathering, and rapid response teams ready to engage with cartel forces at a moment's notice.
Sensors and radars detect movement. Cameras confirm it. Dispatchers send agents to intercept.
We're heading your way now.
Hay dos operativos muy importantes, la Operación Muralla, que hace Fuerza Civil en la zona rural para evitar que grupos del crimen organizado ingresen al área metropolitana.
According to state officials, the operation has been effective. Gerardo Escamilla, Nuevo Leon's public security secretary, recently appeared before legislators to present results from the operation. He claimed that high-impact crimes have been dropping significantly across the state. Homicides have decreased by 54%, and femicides, the murders of women, have fallen by 82%.
Ahorita en los últimos meses de trabajo hemos acordado ir puntualizando y focalizando sobre el tema de violencia familiar, donde tenemos mucho que hacer.
But despite these official statistics, the reality on the ground tells a different story. According to figures from the Attorney General's office, between January and July 2024, Nuevo León recorded 930 homicides. That's compared to 908 during the same period in 2023.
Dr. Cos y los Aldamas se han convertido este 2021 en dos de los más inseguros del estado, al registrar la mayor tasa de homicidios dolosos en el año.
So while some crimes might be decreasing, the overall violence is still incredibly high, and clashes like the one in Los Aldama show just how dangerous the situation remains. The truth is, Operation Morala is fighting an uphill battle against an enemy that's been terrorizing Mexico for over a decade.
Earlier in October, President Sheinbaum rolled out a four-pronged approach to tackle cartel violence. But only a few of them appear to be changing the reality on ground.
To really understand what happened in Los Aldama, you need to know who the Cártel del Noreste is and where they came from.
Grupo considerado altamente violento e implicado en el tráfico de drogas, secuestro, extorsión y también contrabando de personas.
The story begins with Los Zetas, one of the most brutal criminal organizations Mexico has ever seen. They started as a group of elite Mexican Special Forces soldiers who deserted the army in the late 1990s to work as enforcers for the Gulf Cartel.
These boats, known as launchers, not only poach a red snapper but also are used for smuggling drugs and migrants into the United States.
But Los Zetas didn't stay enforcers for long. They eventually broke away and became their own cartel, bringing military tactics and extreme violence to the drug trade in ways Mexico had never seen before.
There was definitely a foreboding of things to come as the Zetas began to grow and become stronger, and they were learning the drug trade from the Gulf Cartel.
For years, Los Zetas controlled massive territories across northeastern Mexico, including Tamaulipas, Nuevo León, and Coahuila. They weren't just trafficking drugs. They were kidnapping, extorting businesses, stealing oil from pipelines, and massacring anyone who stood in their way. But in 2012, everything changed when Mexican Marines killed Heriberto Lazcano, known as El Lasca, one of Los Zetas' founding leaders. Then in 2013, authorities captured Miguel Ángel Treviño Morales, known as Z40, another top boss.
The Zetas cartel boasts 10,000 members. What started off as a group of rogue special forces has become a state within a state. Its bosses have been arrested before. They are quickly replaced.
With their leadership decapitated, Los Zetas splintered into warring factions. One of those factions became the Cártel del Noreste, or CDN for short.
And I know it sounds harsh saying it this way, but it's just the way it is. The people we were using as targets were rival cartel members.
The CDN was formed around 2014 to 2015, led by members of the Treviño family who wanted to maintain control over the northeastern territories. They set up their base of operations in Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas, right across the border from Laredo, Texas. And what makes them so dangerous is that they inherited all of Los Zetas' military training and brutal tactics, but they're even more aggressive and unpredictable. The CDN has been responsible for some of the most shocking acts of violence in recent Mexican history. They've ambushed police officers, attacked military bases, and engaged in turf wars that have left entire communities traumatized. In 2020, the United States government took the unprecedented step of designating the CDN as a foreign terrorist organization, something they'd never done with a Mexican cartel before.
And there will be a whole of government effort to remove these terrorists from our soil and to degrade their ability to threaten or undermine any American American security or sovereignty interests.
The U.S. Department of State said the CDN engages in widespread violence and regularly targets Mexican security forces, Mexican government officials, and civilians. But within the CDN, there's one group that stands out as the most feared: Los Chuquis. Los Chuquis are the CDN's elite enforcement arm. Basically, they're the cartel's special forces unit.
Las áreas de inteligencia refieren que el Chuqui tenía a su servicio varias células de sicarios y era el encargado de corromper autoridades locales para que les brindaran protección e información.
The name Chuquis comes from the horror movie character Chucky, the killer doll. And trust me, they chose that name for a reason. These guys are known for being absolutely ruthless. Los Chuquis handle the CDN's most violent operations: assassinations, kidnappings, armed confrontations with security forces, and territorial enforcement. They're the ones who get sent when the cartel wants to send a message that can't be ignored.
Surgieron en 2023 como brazo armado del CDN y en poco tiempo se hicieron notar en Monterrey con mantas, donde anunciaban limpias contra rivales.
What makes them particularly dangerous is their training and equipment. Many members of Los Chuquis have military backgrounds, just like the original Los Zetas. They know how to plan ambushes, coordinate attacks, and use military-grade weapons.
Pero además, cómo transforman armas, pistolas, revólveres en fusiles semiautomáticos que están utilizando para los actos de extorsión.
And they're not just operating in Tamaulipas anymore. Los Chuquis have been pushing into Nuevo León, trying to establish control over trafficking routes and strategic territories. That's exactly what Operation Morala is trying to stop. But as the clash in Los Aldamas showed, these cartel hitmen aren't backing down without a fight. According to security analysts, Los Chuquis operate in small, mobile cells, usually groups of 5 to 10 heavily armed men traveling in armored vehicles. They strike fast, they strike hard, and they disappear before reinforcements can arrive. The improvised armor found on the pickup truck in Los Aldamas is a classic Los Chuquis tactic. They weld steel plates onto regular trucks to create monstruos, or monsters, vehicles that can withstand small arms fire during confrontations with police.
Every year, more than 10,000 guns found in Mexican crime scenes are traced back to the United States. That's according to data from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
So why is Nuevo León so important to the CDN? Why are they willing to risk these kinds of confrontations with security forces? The answer is simple: money and power.
But it's not only connected to fentanyl. This show is costing Mexico, a lot of money without addressing our own problems.
Nuevo León is Mexico's second largest economy. Its capital, Monterrey, is one of the wealthiest cities in Latin America, home to major international corporations and a crucial hub for trade with the United States. For cartels, controlling territory in Nuevo León means controlling drug trafficking routes to Texas, extortion opportunities from wealthy businesses, and strategic positions for smuggling operations.
Authorities right now say the stakes are higher than they've ever been. That's because cartels are now classified as foreign terrorist organizations, which means so are the consequences for anyone that helps them.
But it also means fighting not just against security forces, but against rival cartels who want the same territories. The CDN is currently battling against remnants of other Zetas factions, the Gulf Cartel, and even the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, which has been trying to expand its influence into northeastern Mexico.
They draw every drop of blood from a rock in the areas they control. And that was out there. You had reports on them exploiting the tequila industry or the cattle industry or the...
This multi-front war is what's driving the violence in places like Los Aldamas. These rural municipalities have become battlegrounds where cartels fight for control and local residents are caught in the crossfire. In recent years, Nuevo León has seen a dramatic increase in violence linked to organized crime. Entire communities have been displaced, businesses have shut down due to extortion, and people live in constant fear. In 2023, there were multiple high-profile incidents across the state. In one case, cartel members set up roadblocks and burned vehicles on major highways, bringing traffic to a complete standstill for hours. In another incident, gunmen attacked a bar in Monterrey, killing multiple people in what authorities described as a targeted hit against rival cartel members. These are part of a pattern of violence that's been escalating as cartels fight for territory and the government fights to take it back. track. And that's exactly what Operation Morala is designed to address. By creating a security perimeter and conducting aggressive patrols in rural areas, authorities hope to prevent cartel members from reaching urban centers where they could cause even more damage. But the clash in Los Aldama proves that this strategy comes with serious risks. Every deployment could turn into a firefight. Every checkpoint could become an ambush site. The 7 suspects arrested after the Los Aldama clash are now facing serious charges. If they're confirmed to be CDN members, they'll likely face federal charges for organized crime, weapons possession, and trafficking. The weapons seized, especially that .50 caliber rifle, will be analyzed to determine if they're linked to other crimes. These weapons often leave ballistic fingerprints that can connect them to previous murders or attacks. But here's the harsh reality. Even with these arrests, even with the weapons off the streets, the CDN isn't going anywhere. They'll recruit new members, they'll smuggle in new weapons, and they'll keep fighting for control of Nuevo León, because for them, this is about power, territory, and survival in one of the most violent criminal environments in the world. The clash in Los Aldama is just one battle in a much larger war, a war that's been tearing apart northeastern Mexico for years. Operation Morala might be showing some results, but as long as cartels like the CDN see Nuevo León as valuable territory, the violence will continue. The question isn't whether there will be more clashes like this one. The question is, how many more officers and civilians will have to die before this war finally ends? Please feel free to share your thoughts with us in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth videos like this.